okay, I was just talking to somebody yesterday who had been doing keto for a long time, noticed the benefits, was loving everything. And the person had a few questions for me. I've been carnivore almost 6 years now. And this person was like, I'm thinking about doing carnivore. I want to try it for like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know if it's going to make that big of a difference. I'm already keto. And I'm always like kind of surprised and always struggle a little bit to try to explain to somebody that even removing a pretty small amount of vegetable material can make a really, really big difference. How do you
Oh,
explain to somebody
unbelievable.
like the small amount of peppers or asparagus or the spinach that you're having in your salad? Like it might be a lot worse for you than you think. Like, how are you able to have that conversation with people?
See, the problem is with vegetables, people just don't understand this, that when it comes to vegetables, people will say you get all the vitamins and minerals that you need. And this is the reason why you need to be eating your five vegetables a day. And like you said, it's very, very hard to have that conversation with someone that's been led to believe that for such a long time. But I'm the same as you. I just say, right, okay, well, if you still have digestive issues, like I work with an awful lot of women that have IBS. Now, the protocol from doctors and dietitians in this country is if you're suffering from IBS, you need to eat more fiber. You need to eat a lot more fiber and you need to eat a lot more vegetables. And I'm scratching my head. I'm like, okay, how long are you doing this? And they're like, well, I've been eating this way for nearly 6 years. And I'm like, has your gut improved? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, but why are you still doing it? And they're like, well, vegetables are good for you, aren't they? And I'm like, well, obviously they're not. So what about if we just remove them and let's see what happens? Like me, when we removed them, within a couple of days, these people are getting back to me and saying, Mark, are you some sort of magician? Are you some sort of wizardry? Like my digestive issues are gone. Like I'm feeling great. And I had a woman that I was working with a few months ago, and she was taking antidepressants for 12 years. 12 years she was taking antidepressants. And I took this woman on and I said, listen, what I want you to do. Now I had a look at her diet. It was very, very high fiber. And I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to phase this out nice and slowly. I want to phase out the grains, I want to phase out the fiber, and I want to phase out the vegetables. Within 4 weeks, you'll be off all fiber, all vegetables. Let's just see what happens. We did that for 3 months. 3 months. In that 3 months, her medication went from, I think she was on around 8 or 9 pills a day down to 2 pills a day.
Wow. Wow.
2 pills a day. And I was like, I told her, I said, listen, I'm no doctor, but you need to go back to your doctor and you need to question him now. You need to ask him why have I been on antidepressants for the last 12 years and you guys haven't been able to help me?
Unbelievable. Wow.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Yep. And if you've been in this space for long enough, you'll hear a story like that and be like, yeah, of course. Like it doesn't even surprise people anymore if you've been in the space for long enough. It's so interesting. I actually tested this out a few weeks ago where I looked up, anybody listening or watching can do this. Look up who is a low fiber diet recommended for. And the top things that pop up are digestive issues. Low
Exactly.
fiber diets are recommended for IBS and IBD and Crohn's,
Hmm.
diverticulitis, and all these gut issues. Yet
Hmm.
it's so ubiquitously known out there that you need more fiber when you have digestive issues. Like, but it's like it's mainstream advice. If you Google it, like it says, low fiber diets are recommended for people with digestive issues. It's insane.
And you know what the funny part is? When you look at carbohydrates and you look at fiber, none of these are an essential macronutrient. But when you look at the food pyramid, these are essential in our diet.
Yep. Foundation.
Like, like
Yeah.
it's absolutely laughable. It's
Crazy.
laughable when these dietitians, these experts, tell us that 60% of our overall food intake should come from a macronutrient that's not even essential. It's just insane.
Wow, that is pure insanity. Just experientially, you've worked with a lot of people now. I'm just curious. We both know that doing a carnivore diet for a lot of people can be challenging for one reason or another. Socially, it's difficult. I don't think it's expensive or inconvenient. In fact, I think it's very inexpensive and very convenient. But some people have issues with that. Other people, never really get over the cravings, and they might do a carnivore diet for a while, but then mix in fruit or honey or whatever things come back in. In your experience with the people that you've coached, with the people that take out, in particular, vegetables, do you notice anybody who removes vegetables for a period of time and says, oh, you know what? I really, really miss. I really miss vegetables. Do you know anybody who has removed the vegetable component from their diet long enough and then just said like, oh, I miss these? Or do you notice that that's like the one thing that people remove and say like, I don't miss these things at all?
Now, what I usually do is I usually work in phases. I don't, when I work with people, the last thing I want to do is I want to like push them into a carnivore or a keto approach straight away. I need to find out what's causing the problems at the very, very beginning. So if I take someone on that has an addiction to sugar or has an addiction to carbohydrates, it's very, very hard to say to someone who has an addiction. It's like saying to someone who's an alcoholic, listen, you need to give up, you need to drink, you need to stop drinking alcohol straight away. It's impossible. Saying to someone who smokes, you need to stop straight away, it's impossible. These people need the right guidance. So I find that when I take someone on, they need to be educated in the right way. I would rather these people come back to me and say to me, Mark, is it okay if I take the carbohydrates too? Mark, is it okay if I take the vegetables too? Because they're listening to their body. It's not coming from me, it's coming from them. And that's where I hear a lot of. I hear a lot of people saying, like, listen, I don't need these carbohydrates anymore. I can actually run better if I just eat fat. I have no issues going to the toilet if I eat fat. I have no issues going to the toilet if I remove fiber. All these questions, so what I'm trying to say is they're learning along the way. And that's what I want. I want to make sure that not only they're living this lifestyle, but they're actually learning so they never have to look at another diet ever again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That's why I never really get upset if somebody is starting like a paleo diet and they still are consuming lots of nuts and seeds and vegetables and things that I think are, somewhat problematic. At least they're on that path. And we both know like it's pretty easy to start to transition from like a paleo style to a ketogenic style, from a ketogenic style to more carnivore style. So I know
Mm.
that if somebody's at least on the path, they'll continue learning and find the things that they thought were really good for them, which don't end up being. So
Exactly.
that's
It's
my
because
approach.
exactly because at the end of the day, what I'm seeing at the moment is like everybody's just focusing on diet. Just do a diet every year. That's all you need to do. Just diet every single year. I'm not hearing from people like you're getting better every year. You know what I mean? I don't hear anything about like reverse diets, adding more food into your plan. All I'm hearing is restriction, restriction, restriction. All about low calorie diets, being on a low fat diet. Yes, you may be losing weight. Yes, you may actually look amazing. But what's it doing to your health?